What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Optimal EV. Today, I'm going to be giving you a build guide and rundown on the all-new 2023 Toyota bZ4X.
The bZ4X is very similar to the Subaru Solterra because they actually share the same platform. So if you were looking at these two cars and thought that's why they looked identical almost.
Like we did at first?
Right,
Yep.
yeah. So that's definitely why. Both these companies are working together in collaboration to make separate models. And if you are interested in a comparison video between those two, we'll definitely be making one in the future. So make sure to subscribe.
To start, we're going to get right into the build on the bZ4X.
So here we are on the builder page for the bZ4X, and on the bottom left, you can see that the starting MSRP is $42,000. As we scroll down, you will see that there are a decent amount of color options that are available on the car, which is pretty nice. And there are also two trims available for this car.
We're going to start on the 2023 XLE trim. So that starts at $42,000, like Sam said before. That's the lowest price model. And the range is 252 miles with a front-wheel drive system, 18-inch alloy wheels, a 12.3-inch audio multimedia screen, which is nice, and all-wheel drive available with X mode, which is going to be like their all-terrain mode. So we're going to start by building that one. All right, so we're going to start with the powertrain. You're going to see that there's the front-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive version. Range, what do you think?
I think the 252-mile range is actually pretty decent. I know that that doesn't typically hit our 300-mile standard that Troy and I usually hold as kind of like our gold standard. But that being said, I think that for the price and the size of the car, it can be manageable.
Yeah, and I think that we've criticized the Bolt EUV before, but honestly, looking at that with the price point that's at now, when they reduced it, it actually is a pretty good mile range for what they're charging now. So this is a little more expensive for the same range, but still not terrible for what you're paying.
Yep, I agree. And I think the upgrade to the all-wheel drive option actually is good. I do think that you're getting a decent more kick out of the car, but I don't know if that really justifies the change in price.
Yeah, and it is $2,000 or $1,500 around, which isn't too bad compared to some brands that will charge a lot more for all-wheel drive. So that's something just to keep in mind. But if you're someone who doesn't drive a lot, then definitely the 228 won't be a problem for you.
So as we move on to the colors, you will see that there are only 5 options available on this trim, and all of them except for black have a $425 additional cost.
Yep, and we're just going to go real quick. Windshield pearl. It's a nice pearl white metallic, elemental silver metallic, heavy metal, which is something that we're a big fan of, usually like the metal grays. And then the red, which is $425, not a super additional cost. So regular additional cost, but nothing substantial or different from the others.
And you will notice there is like a black trim across this car that honestly I think really only looks super clean with the all black. It doesn't look bad. It for sure does not look bad. I think it looks good.
It looks better on the XLE because you don't get any of that chrome trim. Yeah. So I think once the fact that you have to upgrade to a higher trim model and get more chrome around the car, it doesn't really make it look as good. Right. But it's definitely unique. I haven't seen really any cars that were low priced have two-tones. I mean, you've seen Rolls Royces with like, two-tone lines, or the i7 we did last video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But it's nice. It's nice. The black definitely looks really sharp though.
Yep. And then if you go to the interior pictures in the middle there on the top, they kind of have like a weird navigation system for going through these pictures, but it does work. We haven't really had too many website issues, so that's honestly another plus I'd like to mention. On the interior options, there are none. You get the default black cloth, and that is it.
Yep. And what are your thoughts on just the interior in general? I know we had a first reaction when we saw the interior, and what was your first thoughts?
I like the openness of like the center console. I love when cars have like that open like slot underneath the center console. I think
Especially
that's
with
always
this
cool.
Little window you can put things in. Yeah, it's nice. Cup holders are really large.
I think the center entertainment system is also clean. I don't know how good the UI is. That's always something super big that you should always try out when you're in the car, is making sure things are smooth and the way that you like them. And then the other thing that I think Troy and I kind of looked at and were weirded out by is just the top dash.
Yeah, it seems like it's really far away. I think it does probably do the job once you're sitting in the car. It's kind of closer to the glass and to the road, so you don't really have to take your eyes too far away from the road to look at your speed. But I think it's just because it's a little abnormal. It just looks kind of odd. I remember sitting it at the Philadelphia Car Show too, in the Solterra actually, which looked similar to this, and it was very, very weird at first.
I find it strange when they try and put that display above the steering wheel instead of below. I think it should either be like very super easy to see up above it or very well integrated below. It's one or the other.
And one thing that is nice is you will get the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The only thing I did see about this vehicle that I didn't love is the steering wheel. I think it looks a little dated.
It's a little big.
An EV.
Yeah.
But, that's just to each his own.
Yeah.
The seats, very sporty. Nice styling to that. You can see the manual seats for these.
Yeah, it actually looks like that is black leather, not cloth. So I think
it's like the Sensitech, like the
okay.
leather, Softex. That's what it is. So it says fabric/Softex. So you get some parts of the seats, and then the other parts are.
It looks
Softex.
like you get a decent amount of storage in the back if you lay those seats down. So definitely a lot of volume back there.
Yeah, and then if you want to take a look at the outside, I honestly think the front doesn't really match the back. The front looks really aggressive.
True.
And the side profile does too. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, something about the light bar, I don't love it, but.
That's fair. I think it looks pretty good.
Next, we're going to go to our packages, which you're only going to have one package in the standard SLE. That's going to be the XLE weather package, which is going to give you the heated leather steering wheel and the heated front seats.
Oh, and we can't forget the 50 state emissions.
Yeah, don't forget the 50 state emissions. It's not the last time you're going to see it.
No, we will talk more about that in the next trim.
Also, one thing about the steering wheel, I know some people, I've seen this question multiple times where they want to know if they can get some kind of vegan, non-leather steering wheel. Unfortunately, most brands only offer a leather steering wheel. So in order to do that, you would have to go aftermarket and change that yourself.
Lastly, we have the accessories that are available here from Toyota. As typical in our videos, we like to mention that most of the stuff should be purchased either third party or used if you can, because they typically mark these up a lot on the website.
Yeah, it doesn't seem terrible for Toyota, just because it is a cheaper brand, but still definitely pretty expensive.
A lot of normal stuff. You have door edge guards, some mud guards, as well as a ton of other floor mat options.
What's nice is to see ChargePoint actually partnered with Toyota to offer a ChargePoint accessory box. Anytime I've talked to anyone about what they should get for an electric charger in their house, I've always recommended ChargePoint. They're really easy to use, and I've always seen that you can, on the app, actually check how much money you're saving per month, which is something that's a nice feature.
Definitely something nice to keep in mind.
So real quick, just go through these exterior and interior accessories. If you want any of these, then you just add them onto your build. Next, we're going to go back to models, and we're going to go over the Limited.
So, as you see, we have upgraded to the limited edition, which increases the price by $4,700 and actually drops the range by 10 miles, which it actually ends up being because of the wheels. You jump up to a standard 20-inch wheel when you make this upgrade, so that's why that happens.
Yeah, from 18 to 20, I don't know. I think 20 sounds a little large for this car.
20's huge.
Yeah, it's not a full-size SUV. It's more of like a mid-size. So I know that some full-size SUVs come standard with 20s or even 19s I've seen on mid-sizes. So yeah, it's definitely cool to see. Definitely gonna look good in person.
Yep. Moving on, we have going to the powertrain, where we actually now have an option for all-wheel drive.
And what's interesting, it doesn't drop the range on the all-wheel drive 10 miles. So it just drops it on the front-wheel drive, which is a little strange. I wonder if that's actually true, if it does decrease the range on the all-wheel drive.
You would think that it would, and it should, but maybe it doesn't.
Next, you'll see our colors, where things have changed a lot. We have the original 5 we went over before. But instead, they give you an option to get these extra trims. Now, at first it was hard to notice the differences, but it actually changes the black trim around the sides. So we'll show you real quick. If you go to the red, you're going to see the red comes all the way along the top. But if you switch over to the other red, you will see that the black trim, it replaces that top there. So,
yep. This expansion is just a black roof, but that whole top black roof piece is really what's getting changed.
Yeah, and then one other thing is just from the exterior side, I'm going to show you large image-wise, that you'll see this is where the chrome was added from before. It was the black, as well as the side of the window here. And you also got upgraded LED lights when you upgrade to the Limited from the XLE.
Yeah, I think the lights look super sharp. Yeah. I really hope that center line that goes across the middle lights up, because I love the cars that have been doing that so far. All right, I also do want to mention that there is another option for the interior. So instead of just the Softex black, we now have the option for Softex light gray. Yeah,
I think the interior looks really nice with the light colors.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's always a concern getting them dirty, but I think getting that like light color with the black contrast of the rest of the car always is a nice touch. And also having this kind of two-way split roof, panoramic sunroof is really nice as well.
Moving on, we now have the packages for this trim, which is way more options than we had on the XLE.
Yeah, and they're kind of like built up. So one package they show by itself, then another, and then they kind of group them together.
Yeah,
so,
if you're familiar with Toyota's build site, they do this on all of their cars, where they start with one package, 2 packages, and then a combination of those two all in one type of thing. So starting off, we have the split roof rear spoiler. Also comes with 50 state emissions.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, so we did look that up and double check to see what it was, because we found it kind of weird that they include it on every single one, but really they're just saying that they're past their emissions test in all 50 states.
Exactly. And so the first one, the split roof rear spoiler, you'll see at the top, it's kind of hard to notice.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add it real quick here. And then on the top, it kind of just flares out a little more.
Yeah, you will notice it's just on the sides. It comes out just a little bit. I'm really curious what type of efficiency that adds. I don't know.
Probably none.
I would love to hear if it adds anything other than just looks.
Yeah, I would say it's probably just looks, and for $200, I mean, if it really makes a big difference from you, then you get it.
Yep.
And then also we have the limited weather package, which is going to give you the rear heated seats and the front radiant foot and leg warmer.
Yep.
So BMW did something similar in the iX we talked about, or the radiant heating panels.
Yep.
So it's nice to see other brands starting to get into that as well.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then it combines both of these first two packages into this one. Then you have the limited weather package and JBL speaker system. So it adds the speaker system on top of these, which is another about $370. So it's not bad.
I think that's actually a pretty good deal. I did look at the speaker system. It is only 9 speakers. So compared to maybe like a Bang & Olufsen that we see on a lot of other cars where they're adding maybe 16 or 21 speakers on some cars, 9 is kind of underwhelming, but I doubt.
For the price, it's not bad.
I was just going to say, I mean, unless you're like a crazy audiophile who's really obsessed with the way things sound, I really think this is going to sound really good anyway.
Yeah, and then they also give you the option to get everything combined into one package with the weather, the speakers, the split roof spoiler.
Yep.
All in one for $1,130.
I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's a couple different options that get included. The rear heated seats are important to a lot of people.
Yep.
And those radiant panels, which is pretty cool. So, you're really loading up the car when you get all of these. There's not a ton of packages, and then you just see the rest of your accessories again.
So that upgrade for all the weather package, it is nice, but you should also know that heated seats in the front are standard on the limited version.
Along with the steering wheel as well. So
right.
Then we go to our summary. What's nice is that we still ended up being able to go under the $50,000 mark, which is something we've always talked about. Like once you really step up to the next tier of $10,000, you're really putting yourself in a class with other EVs.
Yeah, I think it's really good that this $50,000 mark is not gone over, because the second you cross over it, like Troy said, you start competing with like BMW i4 or a Tesla Model 3 that's totally souped up. These car companies have to be really careful when they try and go to this high of a price.
Exactly. And we're just going to do a quick rundown on some of the comparisons. When we go back to the beginning, you'll see compare model. We're just going to do some highlights of those. So here's the compare tool. If you want to check certain specific models, you can come on here and check each one. We're just going to go through a couple highlights that we think are important for those of you who are looking into these vehicles. Again, we like to make these videos so you have kind of a understanding of what the vehicle is before you go into the dealership to test drive it and get a feel for the UI system. So it's just a couple highlights just to make you familiar with the vehicle. So you'll see when we scroll down, we have the heated seats and the ventilated seats are actually standard on the Limited, when you just get the heated seats as an option on the XLE.
Right.
So only a $4,700 price difference, and that's something that is very important to start.
I think there's a lot of standard features that come with the Limited that are super worth it. I would be surprised. It always comes down to price, because the second you look into a higher bracket is when you have to start looking at other cars. But really, if you're already ready to pay $40,000 for this car, the upgrade to $46,700 is probably worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Next, you will see that we have the auto-dimming rearview mirror, auto-dimming mirror with the home link. So it's like the roadside assistance.
Right. So
that's nice. And then the fabric soft tech, you get the option for just the black, but you have the option for the black and the light color for the Limited. So on the XLE, you will also see that you have the 6-way adjustable front seats, and that is only manual. And then on the Limited, you will get the 8-way power seats just for the driver, though. So the reason for that is there's been a huge chip shortage for electric seats and lumbar supports across all brands. So that's why they're only limiting it to just the driver's side. So if that's important to you, definitely have to go with the Limited.
Yep, you will notice the heated leather trim steering wheels, the option available on the XLE. Like we mentioned, that comes with the weather package. And then moving on, they both come with rain-sensing windshield wipers. The Limited does have a few additional options here. They come standard with the bird's eye view camera, which is like that nice, over-the-top view. The height-adjustable foot-activated power liftgate with jam protection so that you can open that up automatically, and then heated rear seats.
Yeah, it seems like that there's just a ton of features in the Limited that a lot of people can't live without. So I'm guessing a lot of people are going to start by going straight to the Limited for that little bit of extra charge.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of features there that would be terrible to miss, especially those power seats.
There's a lot of things that like a convenience package or a premium package would include that come standard with that.
Yeah. All right. So then when you go to safety, it gets a little confusing because they say the same thing twice for each model. So Safety Connect with 1-year trial is the same as Safety Connect with 1-year trial for the other model.
Yep.
Hopefully that makes sense. And then same thing here. So Toyota Safety Sense standard, Toyota Safety Sense standard. They're the same version, same exact option.
Yep.
The one thing that is really nice is they give you the 2-year, 25,000 mile maintenance and 3-year unlimited miles roadside assistance. So nice peace of mind. You don't have to worry about any kind of fluids that need to be changed, or obviously there's no oil changes, which is nice.
Yeah.
But the roadside assistance.
I was going to say 3 years roadside assistance. That's really clutch. I feel like that's the one thing you don't want to have to worry about if you get into that situation is having to pay for like, a tow truck to come out or whatever.
Yeah. And the last safety difference is going to be the front and rear parking assist with automatic braking. So that will come on the Limited, but will not be on the XLE. So if you're really looking for that extra safety, you have to go with the Limited.
Yeah. I think that's a huge option, especially with safety, because if that's coming standard unlimited, I feel like that's usually, there's just so many features that come built in with this limited package. It really just makes it super
It is impressive. And you'll see they repeat themselves again on the technology part. So the 12.3 inch screen is for both, and they both come with the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You have the backup camera with projected path, and the background with dynamic grid lines. So it'll change the animations on the screen when you're in the backup camera for the Limited from the XLE.
The Sirius XM 3-month subscription comes free with both of the different options here, and they both have the Qi wireless charger option. So that's nice to have if you are a big wireless charger.
Yeah, I've seen a little longer of a subscription for Sirius Radio on most brands. So 3 months a little short.
I feel like the default's usually like at least 6 or a year.
6 or a year, yeah. That's not bad though. And then obviously the speaker system. So that's just a quick rundown of all the comparisons between the two. Just from seeing that, I think I'd personally go for the Limited no matter what, just because of the options I'm used to.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I mentioned, I think there's just so many features that come with it that you might as well just get the Limited.
Yeah, and even if you don't go with some of the options on the end, like the spoiler or the rear heated seats with those gradient heating panels, I think it's still unbelievable how many differences there are from the XLE to the Limited. So just make sure you do your research, and when you go to the dealers, see which one you like best, and hopefully end up buying one.
Yeah, hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not you wanted to get the car or which package you wanted to get, because that's our job here. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and also check out some of our other videos. Please make sure to also drop a comment down below. Let us know if there's a special car that you want us to review that we haven't already, or if there's any type of video you want to see.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the future.